Hi everyone, I'm Amy Lee Miller, and today, I'm not quite sure what I want to talk about, but something. So I think I'm just gonna get started and see what comes up. I do that sometimes in life when I know action is needed, but I'm not quite sure which action to take. I'll just get started. That actually reminds me of one of the times I came to New York for a job interview, and they had me work in the field with one of the sales reps I was with the company I was interviewing for. So we spent the day together in the city, and this guy really did not like me. I don't know what his deal was, but he was not nice to me. And anyway, at the end of our day together, he's like, "Okay, see you later." And I'm looking around like I have no idea what part of the city I'm in, and I don't know what to do. I needed to get to Penn Station so I could take the train out to Long Island. I was staying with my cousin. So I called my cousin's wife and I told her, "I'm somewhere in the city. I don't know where. I don't know what to do." So after a minute, she goes, "Okay, just start walking." I did, and eventually I found my way. I've come a long way since then, looking back to who I was then and where I was then, and I had no idea how I was going to get where it was I was going. I just knew I was and that I needed to start. Ever since I was little, I've always had this inner knowing, this deep sense that there was something greater, some greater purpose. And I listened to that. I believe that we all have a greater purpose meant for us or a purpose meant for us. And I also believe that not everyone chooses to listen to that little voice, their inner voice, which is their calling. I listen to mine and I focus on it and pay attention to it. Even if I'm not sure how it's going to come to fruition, the things that I want for myself. There are definitely times in my life where I have to set it aside and focus on other things, but I always know that it's there and I always come back to it. And the more attention I pay to it, the more closely connected I feel. Okay, so how do I want to describe this? If 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 you can open, or we, can open our minds to the possibility that there is something greater than us, a greater force, whether it's a religion for you or for me, it's the universe. If we can open our mind to believe in that, we can also open it a little bit further to begin to understand that that thing, that power, is actually rooting for us, wanting us to have all of the things that we want for ourselves. And then if we can tap into that, we can go a little bit further and begin to understand exactly how powerful we, you, and I are. Because that thing, that big, powerful thing, is not just around us, it's within us. In my continuous thirst for knowledge and a deeper connection to this power, the universe, and for trying to tap into it, I also connect with other people who are enlightened. And one of those people said something to me a while back, probably over a year ago. She advised that I cultivate the feeling I want my life to have, and then get excited about it. Feel it as if it's happening in this moment. Then she said, get present. Go about your day and see what comes up. She said, you'll know what action to take and when, and you will. So I wrote that down on a piece of paper. I folded it and I put it as in the book I was reading, like a bookmark. And I put the book away. I didn't finish reading it. I didn't really like how it was written. And like I said, this was about a year ago. And then just the other day, something was telling me, the universe, to pick up that book. And so I picked up the book to read it again, and I found that bookmark and I read those words. Cultivate the feeling you want your life to have. Get excited about it, then get present and see what comes up. You'll know what action to take and when, and you will. So I said, okay, cool, let me do this right now. So I sat there and I thought about it, and I said, okay, what feeling do I want my life to have? I want to wake up early each morning and I want to read with a clear mind, and I want to write, and I want to feel peace, and I want to create. And then I said, okay, wait a minute. This is my life. I cultivated the feeling that I want my life to have. I do that every morning. And I didn't used to. I used to be in a very stressful medical sales job. I mean, it was great and I was grateful for it. I appreciated it. But I would wake up late, stressed out, and rushing to get to the 6 train. And I'd be dripping sweat by the time I finally crammed myself into the packed subway. stressed out trying to get downtown to my first appointment, always stressed about how I was going to reach my monthly quota in sales. You know, the better you do, the more they raise it. So they kept raising it, of course. And at times I felt like I was suffocating. I don't feel like that now. Other things I have cultivated for my life. I always wanted to feel fit and healthy in my body, and for a long time I struggled with my weight, and I also struggled with total body inflammation. If you've never experienced that, trust me, it is very uncomfortable. Seriously, one day I would feel very comfortable in my clothes, and then the next morning I'd wake up having one of my inflammation episodes, and my body would be literally expanding like Professor Klump from The Nutty Professor. People didn't believe me, so I actually took pictures, which I will never show. I just showed like my mom and a couple people. But it was so uncomfortable. So not only did my clothes not fit, but also my stomach would be so distended that I felt like I couldn't breathe because I couldn't get more oxygen in. Everything would be puffy, my arms even, my face, and I would have excessive thirst. So this was very annoying and would happen intermittently for over a 5 or 6 year period. And in just asking around and connecting with people, I got connected with an Eastern medicine practitioner who advised me on supplements I can take and foods to include and omit in my diet. And I've pretty much resolved the issue. I also found 2 books that I highly recommend. One is the Blood Type Diet. And the Blood Type Diet talks about our blood types not evolving much beyond our ancestors. So whatever blood type our ancestors had that we had, we digest the foods that were around during their time. So for me, example, I'm type O. This is the caveman blood type, the oldest blood types. Cavemen were hunter-gatherers, so they didn't have grains, you know, they didn't have cheese. So I do well eating meat, fruits, vegetables. But anyway, that's just me. Everybody has different blood types, but by learning what foods feel good in our body and by me learning what foods feel good in my body, I now have cultivated that feeling of health and fitness. The other book is the F Factor. I talk about both of these in another video too. F stands for fiber, and this book was written by a nutritionist or dietitian, probably both, and she actually put together a diet to help her patients lower their cholesterol or blood pressure, and the side effect was they also lost weight. So it talks about getting enough getting enough fiber and protein in your diet. So by adding more protein to my diet, I lost 5 pounds in a month, and I kept it off. So anyhow, I think that book is excellent for everybody to read, just to have a better understanding of food and how it works in our bodies. So anyway, I cultivated health and fitness in my life. Okay, let's see what else. Friends, the feeling of acceptance and being appreciated and loved. So for a long time, I didn't have that. And, you know, for years it was quite lonely because I was always honest with myself. And if I didn't feel good around certain company, I just wouldn't spend any more time with those people. So I ended up spending a lot of time alone, writing, working out. And when I did need social interaction, I would go out by myself. So these days I get up crazy early because I like it. That's my time to have no distractions and just be at peace, and I get inspired. And anyway, that's my time. But years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, I would go to this awesome club I found in Harlem, this dance club with great music, and surround myself with so many different cultures. There were people there from Jamaica, from all different countries in Africa, and playing all of their music. It was so much fun, and I became friends with them and learned a bit about their culture. I became friends with the managers, the owner, the bartenders, the doormen. And, you know, I never would have had that if I would have maybe stayed home and swiped Tinder to try to get myself a date, or if I texted every girlfriend that I have to see who was available, only to then find out that we likely didn't even feel like doing the same thing. Also, I found my favorite spot in my neighborhood, a bar or restaurant, and I would go there by myself, and I ended up becoming very close friends with a group of other people that go there by themselves. So after years of meeting each other there, now we're all really close. So that was something, that feeling of acceptance and close friendships is something that I searched for my entire life, and I didn't find it until I stopped searching and I just got started. I just realized what this video is about. It is about giving yourself moments. It's so important to give ourselves moments. What I mean by that is, if I didn't listen to myself when I said, you know what, I need to get out of my apartment, I've been working all day, and go explore this club downtown and see what happens. I listened to that need and I gave myself that moment. So in giving myself moments to just go explore a new place, because that's what I felt like I was being called to do, and just see what happened. You know, I didn't know anybody there. I didn't know if I was going to have time, but have a fun time. But I listened to myself and I gave myself that moment, and I gained so much. In the times that I feel called to write, I always have a lot to do. My plate is always full. My work is really busy. I could work 24 hours, 7 days a week, and never be done. That's just how my job is, and I'm proud of that. I built up my business to that, and I like delivering for my clients, and I like making money. However, sometimes I have to give myself moments. Like I woke up this morning and the other morning and every day this week with a lot of work to do, and I said, you know what, I feel like writing, I'm going to give myself this moment. The work will still be there, and it was, and it is, and I've still been productive and done a good job all week. But if I didn't listen to those moments calling me to write, I would not have written 2 movie scripts, written several episodes of a television show I'm working to create. I would not have written 2/3 of a book, and I would not have done, I think, 20 motivational videos now. So I'm being called to do these things. It feels good to me. It makes me feel happy. And then in doing so, when I go out into the world, it's so much easier for me to be kind and my best to everybody else because I'm feeling good. So I wonder what those moments are for you. Okay, so how do we do this? How do we go about giving ourselves the moments that will help us manifest the things we truly want? The first thing is we admit what it is we want for ourselves. The job, the relationship, the happiness. What does that look like for you, for us, for me? And then focus on it. Picture it. What does that feel like, as if it's actually happening in that moment? Then get present. Go about your day doing the important things that you have to get done while paying attention to whatever might come up. You'll know the action to take when it's the right time, and you will. I'm Amy Lee Miller, reminding all of us to give ourselves moments. Yes, you can.